Hello, everyone. This is Dave from Dave's Recent Things. It is time for fall. The stores have everything. There's fall, there's Halloween, there's even back to school. We're not even done the summer. We're actually only halfway done the summer, and it's already in our faces. And that's okay, because you know what? We can get prepared for the season to come. And I love fall. I'm not going to lie. I love fall. I love Halloween, my favorite time of year. Today's video, we shopped at, or I should say, I shopped at, it's just me. I shopped at the Dollar Tree for 6-inch deco mesh, and today we're going to create a ruffle wreath using that 6-inch deco mesh. Why don't I just get started and I'll show you what I made. Today I'm using the 14-inch wire wreath frame along with this 6-inch deco mesh in green and in cream. Now I have 6 rolls here. I ended up using 4 and a little bit, so 5 rolls. A little Harvest Blessing wooden sign, some floral picks with mums and grass with feathers, along with this little decorative wall decor, and some pipe cleaners, and my regular crafting utensils to create this project today. First thing I'm going to do is use a wire wreath frame to make my working wreath frame. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use those 2 inside wires, and I'm going to start at an anchor using a pipe cleaner that I cut in half. I'm just going to place that pipe cleaner on the 2 outside wires and that anchor so that all those wires are in between our pipe cleaner, and then I'm just going to twist it right around. Once I finish that, I'm going to add 2 more pipe cleaners right in between that section and 1 at the very end on the other anchor as well. So I'm just going to attach those pipe cleaners the same way, keeping those 2 inside wires in between the pipe cleaner, wrapping them around, making sure it's nice and even, and then my last one for this section goes right at the end. So for each one we have 2 in the middle and 1 pipe cleaner on each stem going all the way around. And once I'm done, this is how the working wreath frame is going to look. Of course, I know I do have 1 orange one right at the top. What happened was a little funny story. I dropped the last one right in my coffee before I attached it. So that's why I have that orange one there. Just a little funny moment that happened here in the studio. Once I get all my stems on there, I just add a little hot glue on each side just to make sure they stay nice and in place. And once I finish adding all of that hot glue, I'm just going to put that to the side to dry, and then I'm going to work on my sign. So I take off the little hanging string, add some hot glue on the back, place a couple of pipe cleaners on there, make sure they're nice and submersed in that glue, adding a little bit more hot glue just to make sure that it's all nice and secured. Once that's done, we're going to put it to the side and let it dry. Now comes time for our cuts today with our deco mesh, and I'm using 20-inch cuts. So I'm cutting all of my deco mesh at that 20-inch mark. And to save a little time, I'm going to take 2 rolls, just lay them on top of each other. I'm just going to make sure that the edge is straight just with a little cut, and then I'm going to continue and cut my deco mesh, like I said, at that 20-inch mark. I'm using green deco mesh that you see here, and I'm also using a beige color deco mesh, and they both have kind of like a gold shimmer to them as well. So I'm cutting up the other cream deco mesh at 20 inches too. Now for this wreath, I use a total of 720 inches, which is about 4 rolls. I would say buy an extra roll or 2 just in case, because with my green deco mesh, I only got 16 pieces, and with the beige deco mesh, I got 20 pieces cut at the 20-inch mark to create 18 bundles. And we're going to have 2 pieces of deco mesh in each bundle, which is 36 pieces of deco mesh in total. I'm just going to continue my cutting with all of my mesh. And then once it's all cut for our bundles, I'm going to use 1 green and 1 beige. We're going to do the ruffle method today. And all I'm going to do is have the curl facing down. I'm going to use my stone to hold it in place. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll up at the very bottom, fold it underneath that edge piece. I'm going to place my thumbs right down at the center and use my fingers and walk and gather that deco mesh all in my hands. Once I get to the end, I'm just going to push that underneath, and we've created our first little ruffle, ready for our ruffle wreath. And of course, it looks like a little bow tie, which I love. I'm going to take a paper clip, or you can take a clothespin like I did here and put that one off to the side. For each bundle, like I mentioned before, I am using 2 pieces of deco mesh. So for the second one, I'm going to do the exact same method. I am just going to fold under that cut piece just to hide it a little bit, anchor my thumbs down at the middle, and then I'm just going to walk with that deco mesh, gathering it into my fingers, which is going to create that little ruffle effect. Once it's all gathered in my hands, I'm just going to flip that end underneath just to hide it as well. We have our second ruffle, and now I'm just going to take that third ruffle and I'm going to crisscross it over top. So I'm just turning it to the side, and then I'm just going to hold that all in place, and then I'm going to open up my first stem and place the middle right onto that pipe cleaner. Give it a couple of really good twists, and then I'm just going to fluff it out just a little bit. Get those ruffles going, if you will. And we have our first ruffle on our wreath. And then I'm just going to continue on. I alternate between colors. So for the first one, I did beige and then green on top. Now I'm going to do green and then beige on top, using the same method, gathering it all into your fingers. And what I like to do is I like to put it in between my 2 fingers, and then I can work as well. But I showed you how to use the clothespin, or you can use a paper clip or anything like that as well. Whichever works best for you. I like to use my fingers. And then once that's all done, I'm going to find my next open stem, and I'm just going to place the middle right in between those 2 pipe cleaners. Give it a couple of really good twists, make sure it's nice and secure. I'm going to fold the excess down so we don't see it and it's nice and hidden. And then of course, we'll just fluff up as we go. And then I'm just going to continue on making those beautiful ruffles, alternating between the green and the beige, and I'm going to do that all the way around. Again, there's 18 stems in total to attach all of our deco mesh. And in the beginning, I was saying that a couple of my bundles had just the beige because I couldn't get enough of the green. So here I'm just showing you just one color instead of the 2. And I'm just finishing off our wreath now. And it's all come together with that beautiful green and beige deco mesh. And again, this is all Dollar Tree deco mesh, which is perfect for first time crafters experimenting with wreaths, because the cost is a little bit inexpensive. When I was fluffing it up, I noticed that my pipe cleaners, maybe not the greatest choice of colors, but you could see the orange. So what I did was I had a little basket full of wooden beads. So I'm just going around, I'm using my hot glue gun and gluing those beads over the pipe cleaners just to hide them a little bit. And here's the end result with our beads and our deco mesh. Loving how this is turning out so far. And this is my favorite part, is putting it all together with all these embellishments. Here I'm just attaching the sign. I'm just feeding those pipe cleaners right through the back, twisting them on there, making sure my sign is where I want it to go before I tighten the other side. I do the exact same thing, cut off the excess, and then I'm going to add just a little bit of hot glue on those pipe cleaners just to make sure it's nice and secure. I'm going to put that off to the side, and I'm going to get my florals all ready. I'm just taking apart the florals with the leaves, and then of course we have those beautiful grass with the feathers. I'm going to make sure I take off those tags, and then I'm just going to fluff up them a little bit because they were a little bit tight. So fluffing them up a little bit, separating them, and of course now everything's dry with the sign. I'm going to start adding those grasses and the florals and the leaves, just adding hot glue on there. And I wanted to create just like a little floral centerpiece with these wispy sides with the grass and the florals. I thought that would be such a great idea. Add a lot of je ne sais quoi, let's say, to our wreath, a little pizzazz. And then I'm just gluing down everything else, all the florals on there. And then of course, my last step, I'm going to glue on those leaves as well. Just add a little greenery in there and some more interest, which I love for these beautiful wreaths. And look at this. I just love how those feathers look with those mums and the sign. I found this little decor, I should say. It's a wall hanging decor is what they call it. And I found it at the Dollar Tree. Everything comes from the Dollar Tree. So what I decided to do is I wanted to hang this at the bottom. So I'm just attaching it right at the bottom with a pipe cleaner attached to the wire frame. And then I'm just going to twist it together, attaching that little wooden hanger, which I love. It's just, I haven't seen it at the Dollar Tree before. I saw it, I had to pick it up, and I thought it would go perfect with this wreath. So once I flip it over, I had to turn it sideways because it doesn't fit in the shot, but here you can see our little hanger tail, if you will, right at the back with our Harvest Blessing sign, that ruffle, deco mesh, and of course those feathers and grasses and those beautiful colored mums as well. This just all really came together so well. I was so happy with it, and that little attachment right at the bottom with that maple leaf just brings it all together and just adds a little bit more uniqueness to our wreath. I love it, and I hope you do as well. That Harvest Blessing sign just stands out so beautifully. I am going to enjoy hanging this wreath on my door for fall. And some bloopers to put a little smile on your face. It is time for fall already. The schools have back to school. The schools. David, the stores. The stores. It is time for the fall decorations. Oh, Dave. Thank you so much for joining me today while I created this Harvest Blessings fall ruffle wreath from supplies from the Dollar Tree. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye for now.